Okay, I have some good news. I finally figured out the problem on my computer, what seemed to be the problem and how I fixed it. I'll show you. But this issue that Microsoft on the answer.microsoft.com was provided, this did not solve my problem. It might solve yours if you get the same error and you just go at the registry editorial and modify this value to 2 for the LXSS manager, and then reboot your machine and it gets fixed. Or you did these other options and somehow one of them resolved the problem, you're lucky. But unfortunately for mine, after a couple of reboot and a couple of even power off the machine, it did not. So I went to the command line and I figure out the problem, what it was. So let me show you what I did here. So first I type in WSL -- help to see what are the parameters that I could set the values to. Set default option, if there's anything that I'm missing. I looked around and then I finally ran into the issue with the -- update option with WSL, because the software, whenever you make a massive modification of, let's say, uninstalling it and registering it, sometimes the WSL software itself, if it's not up to date, you need to run the WSL with -- update to just make sure your system is up to date there. And then I remember last time I did that one, so I went through this one, and when I look at the -- update option, I remember that's what I did last time too. And before I just actually start the video recording, this time I just open a PowerShell command prompt and to say that, well, I've already set up those other options which I showed you on this documentation, that WSL set - default version, and also enable Windows option online before the reboot, but that does not resolve the issue, and nor neither this one. However, this one was done, this one was done. Since the registry somehow was compromised or somehow was missed with some kind of values, even though I was doing it, the update WSL, this is Windows subsystem -- update itself. So everything that is related to the software will update itself. It's almost like apt update. So when you do apt update on a Linux machine or DNF update on a Red Hat machine or a Rocky or CentOS or some version of Fedora, then you are getting your system up to date. For Ubuntu, you have to do apt update and then Debian distribution. For Red Hat and DNF stuff, I mean DNF or Yum, you have to do it. Here I just did WSL -- update, and as you can see, it says that installing Windows subsystem for Linux, and then Windows subsystem for Linux has been installed. So once this one is properly done, then I said maybe I could do the WSL -- install distribution, and luckily this time it just did not come out with that error 500 something. 5008 would the number with registry editorial. So that is not there, and now it says that it may take a few minutes. Now it's prompting me for the username, so I'm going to type in my username, Wahid. I'm going to type in a password, and the password is strong because I want it secure, even though this machine will be powered off mostly. But whenever I turn it on, I want to make sure that I use a powerful password. So right here, you can see password is updated successfully, message, and now I'm on Linux Ubuntu here. So if I just say hostname here, clear screen, hostname here, you can see it is algorithm -n etc OS - release. Look at the content of that one, you can see Kali Linux is there, and the version is 24.2. And if I say ID-UN, you can see that the color of this background does not match as good there. So I could even close this one since it's installed. I could just, I don't have to be on root here. I could just go and terminal here and clear screen here and do WSL-L, and it's a list of the software that are installed. Ubuntu was default one. Now I'm going to make a Linux default one. I could say WSL-D-S switch Kali Linux. That would make that one as default one. So now Kali Linux is default one. All I have to do is type WSL and then automatically drops me to Kali Linux there. And then that directory that is mounted on this one, I could do CD and I'm going to get into root. But notice blue on blue does not look good. So I could just exit out of this one and make even my font here, or I mean colors different. So right here at the store, I could also go to Microsoft Store. And now since the app is installed successfully, I can search here for Kali Linux on my app, and then just spin off this one. It's like already open. I mean installed. I just open it here. This notice that coloring is a little bit lighter background. I could also change the background. It's not a problem. You could just click on this one and then say, let me see where it is at. Yeah, under setting here. So you could just go and change the colors under appearance somewhere here, and then do that one there. And another thing is that if I just don't like that color also, let's see, close this one. I could just say, okay, I'm going to open a command prompt here, CMD, or just type in WSL here on the command line, and then look for the one that I did was Kali Linux. So I can also open it, the apps from command line here. You see this one and this one, they're both going to allow me to log in as that also. So a number of ways you can connect to it. The color is not bothering me as much because I'm going to actually get to graphic and install desktop and all that things here. So I'm going to become root first, and then I'm going to make sure that my root privilege is okay. So now I'm logged on as root. Notice that it says this is the site that's minimum with setup. So that's why I'm going to install a lot of stuff in it. And then before I do that one, let me show you what are the a number of modules and everything that is currently available here. So I'm going to do Control Plus here, and you can see the screen bigger, right? So I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to display this one. Notice this documentation says if you go to kali.org docs, and then this is common minimum setup, but I could just go to install the whole thing and there. So you can also visit this site by click on it in minimum setup. It will just go through the documentation. And kali.org is the website. So if I just go kali.org /docs and just that one is basically taking me to the documentation, and then it has introduction, installation, visualization, USB, Kali on ARMS, containers, WSL. The one that we are working on is WSL. So let's get to WSL here. And then WSL has a number of ways you can install WSL, running it in seamless mode, running in enhancement mode, when kicks, and when Kali WSL, right? So the one that I want to do is that when kicks and stuff. And as you can see here on the page that I have here, one of them, actually the first one, the front page, I just did the sudo Kali Linux large. I want to install this module and this module, and once I install this module, then I have everything with all the subsystem that is there, right? So this is the documentation also point you to those ones if you go in details, and you see that for deployment image services management stuff, those are there, the features. We already went through all of this, but notice that version, if you want to set for Kali Linux, you could do that one. So a lot of these might help you on the website itself. If you want to just read that one through, it's very, very through with documentation. You're welcome to practice them through that. At the same time, I want to show you my way how I do this one. So here first I clear my screen, say cat -n etc os-release. So the first thing is that I know I'm on 24.3 version, and I need to update my system first to make sure I have the latest one. Since it's a Debian version, the application package toolkit is the default package manager. And then also the Debian PKG is the package manager of all packages on Debian, the mother of all packages. Also snapd, which snapd is not installed, but we could install it. So, and then you can see for here, first I'm gonna do apt update, because this one says 24.3. Let's see if we can just do the latest update, what we are getting on this one. And before I did the apt update, I could have just done a word count on the number of packages, but it's too late now, it's already done. So 31 fetched and 12 megabytes. So 209 more packages were upgraded. If I want to just say that upgradable, this is going to list me all the upgradable. But at this time, I'm not interested on the upgrade part. I'm going to just say cat -n etc os-release. And then you can see it is still 24.3. So let's just do apt list word count -l. That is going to show 69,477. Okay, so if I just do this upgradable to see what is a list of upgradable, all these packages are shown as are available for upgrade there. Okay, so I'm going to just hold on to that one first to see if I can get away with what is updated with it. Sometimes you have to do that one. Sometimes you have to do the Debian PKG --configure -a option and other ones. So at this time, all I'm interested in to see if I could do the install. So pep list to see how many packages are for Python. So notice that Python -pep is not installed. It says that if you want to install it, you can do it. Let's see what version of Python I have. --version or Python and -v, Python -v will give me -lowercase v, sorry, Python 3. Let me just see it. And this one is Python 3-v. This one also says 3.9, but Python itself is not going to match, because with the new version of 2.7, Python was just end of life. So all you have to do is say alias Python is equal Python 3. Now all we did was now if I type in this one, Python is also going to work. So there, whether I go like this to inside Python or just quit out of this one, or I type in Python 3, you can shorten it to be with even 5. So exit or quit will exit you out. Clear screen. Now I'm going to just show you the pep list. Remember, pep is still not working here. So in order for me to do that one, it says you have to install Python 3 pep. It gives me an option, say, do you want to install it? I could say no. And then let's try ourselves, apt install Python 3-pep. And not being stubborn, but I want to just make sure that I memorize the syntax on every one of them. So if a given operating system does not give you the right name or the right package name, then you just could figure it out with apt search or apt list, apt info, all those commands in order to get things done. So this is smooth, fast enough. So I don't have to stop it, and it is already done. So now say clear screen, which pep is installed. So file user bin pep. You can see it's not file is not installed. So now I'm gonna say, go ahead, install it. And then yes, all of that one, and now file is installed. Now you say this one, it says it's a script ASCII the text executable. So I could say pep list, and it says these are the list of packages that are currently there. Notice the word count of this one, it is only 6 installed. Pep is there, Python apt is there, and some other ones. I could always say pep install, let's say, the request, and then just it comes out with that one, and you say, well, if you want to install it, you remember earlier I said I'm not going to do this way, so I could do like rather than pep, I could say apt install Python 3-request. That is the right package name, so it will install request in all submodules. So pep list, notice that there's more, including the request method. So if you say grep -i request, and notice that is 2.3 is installed. But if I just say pep remove a request, then and instead of remove, it might be just uninstall. So if it doesn't recognize that one, the pep itself has a list of syntax. Notice it is also not working that way. So you have to do it with the command of apt remove, and then Python 3-request. Same way that you install it, now you uninstall it. So now it's uninstalled, and then say pep list. So all those modules that were related to request is gone. Here, there's no package there. So we took care of that one. But notice here, clear screen, if I just do this one, there's no package request. And then if I say, give me everything here, it is those. And then if I say, give me a word count on it, word count -l, it says 18 of them, okay? But now I'm going to install that module that I told you. And then just to show you the module before I actually do it on this documentation, I'd say sudo, you have to run it with sudo, and then apt install -y, meaning yes, and then the name of the module is Kali, all lowercase, -Linux -large. So I'm going to try that one. Say first ID -un is root. I don't have to type in sudo. So I'm going to say apt install -y for option and Kali -Linux -large. That was the name of the package that I wanted to install. And this is a very large list of packages. It's going to take a long time to do it, or maybe short time. I'm going to just pause the video so you can see that it is done. I will come back to it. Okay, so the installation is halfway there, almost to the end. Package configuration, now our configuration is there. It says that we want to just console setup, and we want to do UTF-8, and then that's fine. So we are just going to tab it, and let me make sure that I have control over it. Yeah. So here we are going to say this gas optimal character set is fine. Now I'm going to basically default configuration. Some of those ones is hard to read, green on white, but just go with the default configuration, because there's a lot of text there. I don't want to just keep reading, and then I just want to continue on with the default. Again, I'm going to pause it because that's a long time to finish. So you can see this thing is running for a long time, and it is a lot of packages. It's thousands of packages, and you can see that it is doing for a few minutes to 10 minutes or longer. And you can see a lot of these packages are Python related packages, and all the software that needs to be installed, including manual pages, MySQL, GCC, C++, you can name it, all the software are there. Good news is it's done now. This may take a few minutes, and then it was completed here. And maybe 10 or 15 seconds after that one. So I stopped the pause, and now we're recording again. We're back to just the demo. So the command that I used here was this apt install -y Kali -linux -large. This is really large, you can see here. So now I'm going to just see that, well, when we install it, let's see how the system is up to date with the information that are here. So I say apt list and then do a word count -l. Last time was around 69,000 there. Let's see now, so it's still 69,000, but with pep list word count, it was about 18. Most likely now it's a lot more because I saw a lot of Python, 690 of them. So these are the lists that if you want to search all of them, you can see that there's so much of them. And then if I just want to do, rather than look at all the 690 pages of them, I can just say, show me egrep expression grep on NumPy to see if NumPy is installed pandas, and then requests anything with SQL, MySQL or something that SQL would match MySQL, a structured query language, anything. And then we could say search for pep, and that's enough to just get the list of them. So you can see MySQL client is installed, AIO SQLite, that is very good for SQLite. Excuse me, the light version of SQL. MySQL client, Marsha SQL Alchemy, that is very good. So NumPy is there, Panda is there, Pep is there, PepX is there, PyMySQL is there, request is there, request file. A lot of the request dependencies are there. SQL Alchemy is there, SQL parse is there, type MySQL, and so on. So there's a lot here we could just use, take advantage of it. How about see if anything with Jupyter-Lab or Jupyter is there. So I'm going to say Jupyter, and then see if Jupyter is found out. In order for me to just not list the other one, and then that way I could just only match, let's say NumPy and Jupyter, only those two. You could do that one and say NumPy is there, but Jupyter is not. So I say which Jupyter it is not installed. So I'm going to say not pep, apt install Jupyter. Jupyter, I'm going to do Jupyter-Lab. Let's see, that one is finding Jupyter-Lab. But there's a binary also called Jupyter. So I'm going to type in Jupyter space lab. If it is finding it, then I know that I have installed the proper one. So this is a little bit faster than the other one, but I will still pause it because it's going to take a while. This one is installed now. You can see the list was for a little bit, and I have been having a little bit cold, but I have no life. I'm a programmer. Remember that joke that it is actually serious. Everybody that's a programmer, sometimes we can't give up on life that easily. We just have to do things better for others and try to make our society better. And if you're just learning, please make sure you share your thoughts and your knowledge with others and that are less privileged than you are. So at this time, I have installed this one. If I say which Jupyter, it's still not there because I did Jupyter-Lab. So Jupyter-Lab is installed there. But I'm going to say Jupyter, and then lab is going to say this is not installed. Do you want to install it? I say, yeah, I want to install the Jupyter core packages. So that was the package. I could have done app install Jupyter core, and that would install it, or I could just type in the command and it will help you. The system is smart enough. So now Jupyter core is there. If I say Jupyter dash dash help, you can see the core packages is there, and then all these options are there. So in order for me to run Jupyter, I have to be not root. So Jupyter-Lab is going to say your root, Wahid. You want to just log out of root and run this one as a regular user? I say, yes, I do. So then I'm going to say Jupyter space lab. This will just spin off Jupyter on port 8888. So now you have Jupyter-Lab running. I'm going to maximize this window. And as you can see, is the default screen is white, and then you can just click on one of the console. But because I'm just running this one, let's say I run this PWD to say run this one, it is not easy to read. So I'm going to do Control plus and make it bigger, and now you can see it. But at the same time, if I want to change the setting from theme light to dark, this is much readable here. So you can see the text here and everything here. So if I say a list and then word count minus L and just run that one, click on it, you will see that 724 of them. If I say do a egrep minus I and then search for let's say numpy and there, then you can see the version of a numpy that is installed is this. So I say, well, that's 1.5, but let's do import numpy as np and say np dot version dot double underscore version. That will give me the version of it. So see if that is saying the same thing. And you can see it's 1.26.4, the same thing. In this case, if you want to just mimic this one, you have to actually say print, since that fs string, and we could say numpy followed by tabs, maybe 3 tabs, and then followed by a brace, and then say numpy dot double underscore version, close the double underscore core, and then close the brace, and then close the double quote, and then run this one. By shift enter, it will run that one also. You can see numpy is there. So if I put one more tab, obviously moves it to that format. Similarly for other packages there. So let me just do a couple of things while I'm on Jupyter-Lab. I'm gonna just delete these packages, these cells, by simply clicking on it, and then I just start here fresh, say import numpy as np, import pandas as pd, and import requests as rec. So that is good enough for short for it. That is defining those ones. At this time, I want to just show you, I want to open a web page from my website, one of my book. For example, here we go to MyWebUniversity, and my book is The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu. This chapter 4 is Advanced Linux and Unix pages, right? If you want to just, with Panda, you can just open CSV file, Excel file, you can read HTML file, you can read all kind of text file, everything. So this is a nice table that I want to just read the content of it. So this is the URL that I want to just get it. So at this time, I'm going to come back here, say URL is equal, and then I put that URL here as this. Obviously, if I just say open it, I could open that one there, or print it. I could do this one. So I could say print URL, and then that would print out the URL on this one. And then if I just click on it, it will open that page there. first you have to make sure that page is readable and then the content is available for you and everything, right? So now I did double check on that one. I'm gonna come back to this one, and instead of printing it, I'm gonna just say, okay, I know that page is okay. Let me just comment that line out. I'm gonna just say, okay, first say result is equal, whatever I get the data, I could put it as data or whatever I call it. Result is equal, and this name I said request dot get. Request has a get method. So the get method requires a URL. So I'm going to pass on that URL and there. And now a result is there. So if I say print result, this is just going to say that the data, whatever it is there, it is failing here. So let's see why it is failing there. It says something like request is not defined. So I must have defined request as this, request as request, import this one. Somehow it did not see the request. So let me see why. I'm gonna just import just request, see if I don't have to say requests, okay? And then I'm gonna just call it here request dot get method. And then let's see if we run this one, and now it's still the request is not found here. So I'm going to import it right in front of this cell because previous cell might have not have it, but let's see if I could just request here and then run it. Yeah, that was the problem. So all of this one has to be in front of the other one. So I'm going to just I could have just run all cells and then that would be available to my subcells. But at some point, maybe I just did not run this cell. So if I just run this cell and then get rid of this one, and then now say this one, it would still work, I believe, because once you run this cell, this MP is available, PD is available, request is there. So now request is there, I could run this one, it still works. So I could have said as a rec, it still would have been valid, so I could shorten it as rec dot this one. But now I have to run this cell again, and then just to run this one after, and this will do that. So now if I said result is there. So if I say result dot okay to see the status of that URL, it says okay. If I say result dot URL to get the URL, it is there, the actual URL. Result dot text, it is a lot more information. So this is in text format, but the result dot content, that's in byte information. So that information, that's what I need to pass on to NumPy because I need it like in this, like a table format. So this is what I need to do. I got the result here. I could also get the other information. If you need to know what is a result, you could type result, and then run that one. It tells you that result is a request, a response stuff. That's why result or response from the URL that coming in, and there I call it response or a result. It is still the output of that one. So dot cookies, dot cookies, that one, if I just see the cookies, that is also going to tell me that it is a request cookie. But then here, if I want to, rather than do that one, say give me a print of it, that is a list of cookie. I don't have set any cookies on this URL, so there's no. If you're looking for this URL to be Google, obviously, then you can get it. So assuming that now I go pound this one and then say URL is equal, and then just set up to HTTPS www.google.com, and that's good enough. And then we just close that one. If I run this cell now, cookie is going to respond to some value from Google setting cookies. So a lot of the value that you get based on the data that you're reading from a URL page. So at this time, I'm going to go back to my site and then just read that one. And instead of doing the cookies, I could do parse each one of these cookies. You can see it's a list with key pair values, like JSON kind of format. But you don't have to see the key value on my side because I don't have one. So I'm going to say, and instead of doing this, I'm going to say, let's say data, which is the actual data that I want to print. And then I'm going to say data is Panda. I named it as Panda PD. The alias PD is pointing to read underscore HTML. That's a HTML format. So I'm going to say result.content. If you just read the result, it's not going to work. It's going to error out. You have to read it in bytes. That's the important things. So now you say print data. This one is actually going to show you the HTML page the way we were looking at it. And now you see that the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, and then all of that details are here with including each command that is a type and extended for file system, pkill command, curl, and all that thing. Remember earlier when we looked at it as a HTML page, this all information, you could see if the URL is still there. Yeah, the URL, I could cut and paste this one just on the browser. Let me just do Control-C. I could print it and click on it that way, or just double click here and then print it. You can see that's the direct path to Linux Ubuntu is the name, and then all of these ones, and the command type and extended for file system, all of those ones, we just printed out in Jupyter-Lab. So this is what you could look at there. In addition, if you have a CSV file, you can open it with pandas, NumPy. You could just generate anything you want to do. So let's say I just shorten this one. I could show you a few things with NumPy. So for example, NumPy, I could just say array is equal, and then I could just say NumPy dot array, and then you could just have a one-dimensional array of, let's say, x for x in range of 10. That is like those numbers, and then close this one, and then say print A. So let's see what this one does. And then you see we just printed 0 to 1. If I want to say, just show me the odd number, say fx module 2 is not equal to 0. That means that's odd numbers. So now if I just run the same cell again, and then you get odd numbers. If you say equal to, and then you get even numbers. So no matter what numbers you get, so doing a print, like say 8 times 10, whatever is the number, you multiply by 10. And then that would give you vectorization of the data. Each element is vectorized there. And then if you just want to say, read me a series 1 out of this one, you could say pd dot panda dot series is, you could just read a series of this A data and then just assign it to one-dimensional array of series. So now this one is basically a series. And if you just see the numbers, and if you say, give me the data, the type of this S1, you can see as Panda series core object. Similarly, if you look at the data dictionary, you create the data dictionary, you could do it, and then I could create a dictionary and then assign it as a frame, and then there's more option. But rather than do that one, let's just read a CSV file. So reading a CSV file, if I go on the internet here and just say, let me just say google.com and then say Stack Overflow survey. Let me just make this one bigger so you can see a better survey result. The result developer result survey. I mistyped survey. Let me just do Stack Overflow developer survey developer survey 2024 result. It's already here, so I'm going to click on this one. Notice that when you click on this one, this page comes in very nice on the Stack Overflow. I say accepted, and based on your graphical interface, these options are coming here, and then on each one of them, there's a different list of values that you can pick. But the one that I'm interested in is one of these ones right here. You can see here that it's there, and then I can just download this CSV file. So the CSV file is right here for 2024. I can say open this one, and notice that a lot of these ones are ready for you to download. But I think I have already downloaded on my machine. Here, let me just see on my machine. I want to show you one more thing on the this one. So if you have to upload it here, how do you upload it rather than download it on the same machine? We could download it on the machine because we open the browser on that machine. That way you can get it on the download directory here. So let me just see what, there's two ways you can do this one. If you are already on the internet, you can just go to Jupyter-Lab. Let me just say tab here, and then this was the screen that I opened it, and then right here, let me just see if I could just go here, and Kali Linux is there. This was the interface that was there when we started Jupyter-Lab here. If you do it 100% in background, this setting is going to be allowing you to type more. You can also go on this option here and then just spin off another Kali Linux here, which I did here. So Control Shift plus, and then Control plus makes it bigger. So I'm going to say hostname, and then ID, pwd, and then let's go to this directory where I have it there. I'm gonna just make a directory, say make dir programs, and then go to programs, and then that's good enough. I could create a make directory Python and then cd to Python, or I could have just simply done make dir -p program / Python. That would have also worked. So here I created that one, and then I want to just see if I can download that file from the internet, which was on this other page on that browser. Let's see, that browser was inside Jupyter. So if I just go on this session and say, let's get the 2023 CSV file, I could just click on it and says this Stack Overflow is downloading it, right? So I could just do this one and then go back to my terminal session right here, and then cd to /downloads directory. So now I'm on the downloads directory list -tltr, and that's the file that I just downloaded there. If I had it on another machine, on this machine, I could also enable SSH, which I show you how to do that one also. But this is a zip file, right? So this is a zip file. I have to unzip it here. Let's see, I'm going to say unzip store.zip file. And then that is automatically, unzip is already there. So it already found out this Stack Overflow, unzip the files, and then you have the PDF file as well as the CSV files. So on this one, I could even inside Python here, I could just say clear screen list -l star.csv. I could say, well, rather than writing it in Jupyter-Lab, I could do it inside here. I could say, since I'm already there, say Python 3, and then say I need to import pandas. So say from actually import pandas as PD, and then at this time all I need is just read one of these CSV files. So I'm going to say data frame is equal. I'm going to say data frame is equal, and then I'm going to say panda PD dot read underscore CSV file. So read that underscore CSV file automatically. If I tab it, all these options are there. Whether you want to read a CSV file or Excel file or HTML file or a JSON or XML, all of these ones are SQL. There's a lot of them. So on this one, I'm going to read a CSV file. And then the CSV file, I could just say, go ahead, read the survey result, this one. And then notice that I'm just inside that directory. So it's trying to open it in that directory file. But if I was on the parent directory, it's not going to find if you just say this slash downloads or whatever it was. And then you have to do import, you could say from path left, import path. And then later on, once you do that one, you say path, and then between the code, you say the dir name slash file name dot CSV. This dir name, where it is on the subdirectory of the current directory, that has to be existing. Otherwise, this is going to error out. So I don't need to do that part on this one because the file is already there. So now DF is already, data frame is already there with the survey. Notice that it's just reading the Excel file. So if I just see in here, say import OS module and say os.system, and then let's say I say ls-l to get a list of the files. I did the first one as data frame. I could say, let's get the schema file, and I could just say the same thing and say, like here we did that df, and I could read that one as second one as data frame 1. And so or data frame underscore schema to be exact. And then the name has to be the file that you want to read, the survey underscore result underscore schema rather than public. So I want to read that one, schema, and then that one I also do. So df is pointing to the df underscore public, and df underscore schema is pointing to the schema database. Now, if I want to just get information on df.info, I could run the info method and I'll get all the information on it, the details of it. At the same time, if I want to get for the schema one with the info, I could do that one also, the schema. So you can see the schema. If I want to get a list of columns on it, I could say columns. Then you can see the schema, all the columns are there. And then for the df with the public for columns, you could see that it's all a list of columns. So how many of them are there? It's a lot, right? So each one of them, when you look at the query name, for example, QName is one of them, and then question is another one. So df.question would give you, if you just type in question, the way the format is there. Let's see what it was. Df dot age is there. I didn't see question. Oh, it was some. This is the index of it, and the df dot columns. These are the one. So df dot age is going to return you this. Df dot age, and then you want to say dot header, head of 10. Just show me 10 line. Here is 0 to 89,183. So if you want to see the first 10, you could do it. And if you see df.shape, you can see that it's 89,184 rows into 4 columns. So if you want to just tail the last 10, you just do it this way. At the same time, if you're looking for some information, you could get other details of it. So df dot columns, you can see there's a lot of columns here, and then age, and then employment, another one. So if you want to get age and employment, you could say df, and then age of those ones, you could type in the same way that you say dot age, you will get it. And then if you want to get more than one, then you have to define it as a list. So employment, and then that's another one, and then this one. Now this is a data frame. So this is data frame. If I just look at this type of this one, you can see that it is a data frame, the type of it. Pandas.data frame and there. And if you need help on the data frame, just type in help on the panda.data frame. That will just give you help on it, and you read it. This is thousands of documentation with examples. You're welcome to research them and read them. I've done a lot of them, so I'm just telling you that this is so much you can do with these tools that are there. I can show you on and on with a lot of those ones, but those are all Python stuff that I will show you later on other videos. Coming back to Kali Linux, and let's see if we can just install Visual Studio Code, for example. Now we have it here, and then I'm gonna say sudo su dash, and then we come here. We could do it in the command line, like here, say apt install Visual Studio Code. This would just install the Visual Studio Code. If let's try the apt install, apt install code, and then that did not do it. Let's see, apt search Visual Studio Code. So we're searching for a Visual Studio Code, and they're seeing a Node.js and other ones. So let's see if Node.js is there. Which Node.js? It is already there. So Node.js was installed. Now I'm inside Node.js. If you want to get help on it, you just type in help. If you want to get some command like console.log, just write a hello world. And simple console.log, it will write that one. But you want to use a for statement, you just say for. The syntax is like JavaScript, like C, C++, Java. So for I is equal 0, I less than 10, I plus, and then brace to start with, and say console.log, and then here we are going to say I, and then say the message, we say hello world, the space hello world. So that many times we want to say hello world, and then close the brace, and then that's how those ones are done. If you want to say os.hostname, you just want to get hostname of OS, you could run it as a function. os. Let's say anything. So let's say os dot some tab, and look at all these functions that are available. os dot home directory, so it will give you home directory. os dot home dir, and then it's going to give you home dir. And then os dot type, what is the type? Is Linux. os dot version, and then get the version. So there's a lot of them. os dot constants give you all the constants that are there. And then for all the signals, you can see the signals, you can get all the signals. So signal interrupts called. So the signal hop is 1, 9 is kill, 15 is interrupt, or terminate there. So a lot of these ones are going to be just available for you. And then and instead of signals.errors, if you want to get a list of them. So when you do a dot tab here, you just tap and you see that constant, that error number, and you could see a list of all the error numbers and everything. So there's a lot in here, and this is not just there. You just type in exit here out of Node.js. If you need instruction on how to do it, just go on the MyWebUniversity, and like I put this thing, and then right here under dynamic generation, I created a lot of PDF files on the fly. So you type in Node.js, and then when you type in pin node, I just create you the Node.js documentation here on PDF. And then right here, you have nodejs.org as code reusability. Just click on this one. Now you're on nodejs.org documentation. Click on doc here, and then you just read everything. So some of the things that I just showed you with the OS module, you could look at the OS, and all these commands, methods are there, function and attributes are there. Similarly for net, similar for path, similar for HTTP, and so on. Okay, let's go back to this one. And we were talking about code. So Visual Studio Code is not here. I'm going to just say code here, and then it says, oh, it is not there. Do you want to just install it? I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead and install Visual Studio Code. And it is just core dumping because I'm running it as root. So in order to run it, you just run this, and then it's going to install and start code for you. And then you just choose the theme that you want. Let's say I want this one. I want to maximize it, the screen, and I get rid of the screen welcome. So I can go and open a file here. So before I do any file and other ones, under the extension, you can install C, C++, and other ones, as well as Python. So I could say install Python extension. Once I choose the Python here, and then it says, do you want to install it? They say, yeah, install it for me. So I can start coding in Python. Similarly for C, C++. So if I just come back here and say GCC, and then search for that one, then I could just install the GCC, which is somewhere here, I believe, this one, GCC. Let me close this one. I'm going to make this one screen bigger so I can see it better. It's too far. This is C++ extension for compiler. Those archons are not showing up, so let me just do G++. And you can see that there's a list of them, GC code. I'm going to try C++. Yeah, so there's C++, C++ project, you can install that one. And then C# is there, C lang is there. And then all of these ones, whichever one you feel like just installing it, and go ahead and install that one. And that will just be your compiler. I want to do the GNU CC collection compiler. That would also be available. So this is Visual Studio Code related stuff. If I just minimize this window and I go back to this other screen and just open one more tab here, Kali Linux here, and another one sudo dash. So you can do it from command line as well as this one. GCC itself, if it's not installed, this is that is not there. It's already there. GCC is there. GCC dash version is telling you that's 14. And GCC -v is telling you that the code is not there. The lowercase v will give you how it was compiled. And G++ dash version will show you the G++ and dash lowercase v, it's telling you how it was compiled G++. So both of them we have it. And then on the graphical interface where I just, I don't need this one anymore. I don't need this one anymore. And this one, we already demonstrated a little bit of what we needed to do. I could open more stuff, but that would be a Python class. So I'm gonna close this one also and say, okay, this is done. Let's control C out of this one. Say yes, shut down, clear the screen. We're there. Okay, so this other one, we started Visual Studio Code, and Visual Studio Code is this one. So if I want to do a compilation here, I could do that one. Basically, I could just open a code, a file here, say file, and then open it in the version that I want. And since I installed these ones, I'm gonna just say file, new file. Open folder, we could open folder. Let me see, under file here, you could say new text file or new file. So new file, I could just say create a Python file. And then right here, if I just save this one as, you can see for the file, I'm gonna click on save as, and then say, for example, demo1.py. And so if I just do that one, demo1.py, and then now demo1.py here, I could say, let's do a dictionary. Just we didn't do that one. So we say D is equal, and then we're gonna say a dictionary, and then we could just say column is equal, index is equal, whatever, name is equal, whatever, some values. So let's just do something very basic. We say column 1, and then that's the index of fit. So dictionary is associated array. So it's rather than index by 0 to a number, it is some string. You could just give a string. So column 1, and then we are gonna just say an array of 1 and 2, those two digit number. And then second one is column 2. So we're gonna say column 2, it is a dictionary. Also, it's a column, and then we the value is a two-dimensional array. Again, is maybe 3 and 4. We gave it the value 3, comma 4 or 3, 5, doesn't matter. So whatever value we give it is taken. Now print $D to see what is this one is going to produce, and we run it here. Notice here in Python this is defined, but I have to save it first, because whatever I did, I say save all, actually save as or save all. Save all will save everything that is there. All I have to do is now run it, and then that dictionary is defined here. So if I wanted to go on terminal here, clear my screen here, and say what the directory here is the start.py, and then now demo1.py is there. I could also say Python demo1.py and run that one as in the terminal. But if I just did not say Python, it's not executable. So you cannot just say demo1.py here, and then you will get permission denied, because we have to say change mode 755 start.py, and then now demo.py is not going to work, because the name is demo1.py, and then /demo1.py. It's not working because it does not understand this is a Python script. So in order for me to just do that one as Python script, I could say pound shebang user ben env, and then Python 3. So that means every time I need to save this one, save all, and then just now here clear screen, and then say app arrow this one, demo 1.py, that's going to tell you it works there. I didn't have to type in Python in front of it. So here I did this one, but if I say what is the type of this one, type of D1, type of D, it's going to say it's a dictionary. It's very hard for me to see it. Let me just make it bigger. Okay, it's too big, but that's fine. It is good enough to see it. So now you have done this one in Python. I just need one more parameter here, and then again save it, and then run it, and then that would give me as a dictionary. So it is a dictionary. Obviously, if I do import it as Panda and say here, let's say import pandas as PD, and then say as PD, unless somehow it is missing it, PD dot data frame, and then the name of the dictionary was the data frame that I want to do. Print okay, so this one is a data frame. I have to assign it to a data frame here. df is equal that, and then print the df here. So now let's save it. You can automate the saving part also. Now it is running it, and it is failing here. Index column, you must pass index column. So for this one, I could just say where the data frame is. I could just say, for example, index and then just an index of 0 and 1, so whatever is equal. I could just say list of 0, 1, and there, and then okay, so using a scalar value must do this one. Let me just exit out of this terminal. It is I don't see the things are bothering me in terms of front of the eyes. So let me exit out of this one. I will just go back onto the actual code here. Much easier to look at the text in a nicer screen of text. So let's see, where is it? No, right here. I clear a screen, or let's minus cell install.py. Okay, demo one.py. And then you can see here, I'm writing this as a dictionary, and then PD, Panda as PD, and PD dot data frame dictionary, and then I'm gonna say columns is equal okay, index is equal. I'm gonna just say an array of 0, 1. There's two rows and values there. So, and that would be it. Let's see if this one works. So Python 3 demo 1.5, and there you go. So, and the 0 is there, column 1, column 2, and then that's the definition of it. So cat minus n demo 1.5. This one is basically creating a dictionary first, which has column 1 and column 2. Column 1 has these two values, 1 and 2. Column 3 is 3 and 5. And then on each of the row, the index is 0 and 1. There's two of them. So if I want to just get the first row, obviously I can get the output of df dot column, and or df column 1 or df dot column 2 to get it, or the rows with look and iLook, and then you can watch my other videos. I'm not going to get into that one anymore. So let me just see here. I could say go to the programs and then write a C++ code here. So before I do this one, rather than doing this one also on this directory or C++, let me show you the part that I want to make this one graphic here. Remember the graphic option? We had this option to say, now just we're inside here. Let's see if we can just get it with that option. So I'm going to say sudo dash, and then become root here. And then once I'm there, id-un is there. I'm going to just paste that one, say kick dash and hence session mode --IP, which is a local IP address, and then dash. So it's gonna prompt me for it, and I'm gonna say yes, go ahead, start it. This is doing some more additional installation. When this is done, I should be able to get into the system with that mode. But the first time it's doing this one, the second time it will not. So I'm gonna pause it because it might just take, it's only 2% then. Sorry about that. Pause. This one is now done. Let's see, the command we typed in was kin-esm-ips, and then at this time it's gonna prompt me for the password. I'm gonna type in my password and then verify it. And then option is yes. Okay, so at this time you can see here that X Tiger VNC started 50902. And then if I just log in here, it's gonna go to that port 50902. And this is the display that I have here. Notice my display is my cursor and a mouse, everything is working the way we want it. And then I can open a terminal here. It is all good. And then if I just resize, make it bigger, Control Shift plus, it is going to make it here bigger. And then I say IP, I'm sorry, PS dash P1, process one, and you can see that process one is in it here, Kali Linux in it. So if I just do that one, it is giving me Kali Linux, and then who I am root, logged on as root, and then which GCC is there. So I could start coding here also, home Wahid here, and then CD to programs. I could also go as regular user or write it as root, it doesn't matter. I'm going to just show you one simple C++ code, one simple C, so you can see how it works there. We can do it as regular user, just open a terminal here and then C Control plus, Control Shift plus, make it bigger. Okay, switch user dash Wahid. Now I'm a regular user, as you can see here. And then echo $ PS1. I remember that PS1, I explained it there, $ /u is giving user, at is at, /h is a host name. And then after that one is /w is for the /w somewhere here. And then that is the working directory. And then $, and then close the bracket, and then that would be there. So if I just go make a directory here, let's see what are the files there. I already have programs, and then cd to programs, clear screen, ls-l. I only have Python, right? So pwds, I'm gonna say make dir C and C++. So just those two. If I just do ls-l, now I have those two. So go to the C directory, and let's just create a file called vim. Let's just say hello.c, and I'm going to say count include standard IO.h, the header file, then end main, and then write the main function, and then start brace, and then printf statement, printf statement, and then say hello world, new line characters, and this a simple hello world there, right? Semicolon, then return successful, meaning that end is successful, close it, and then close the brace. And now we are going to compile it. So now cat -n hello.c is a C program file. Hello.c is a C source code. You can see there, and then I say gcc -o hello, and then hello.c. It is I wrote it in that for instead of end. Vim hello.c. So look for a net, search for a net here. I'm just going to just change it to end, which is the data type that I wanted, and then compile it again. Now this time it worked. While hello is executable in format, when I type in hello, it is just telling me hello word, right? So I'm going to the same thing, say copy this hello.c to the other directory called C++. I believe I call it C++ like this or C++. Let me just double check before I copy it. ls-l, the directory is C++. So copy hello.c as C /C++, and then hello.c++. So now I'm going to go to C++, and then I just say vim hello.c++. Since this code is exactly C, I could still compile it. Notice that C++ understands C code. So I could say G++ -o, and then hello, and then hello.c++. This is going to compile, but notice it says cannot find the file name. I must type the C++ like that. So now it compiled it and just says file hello. It is without any change. Even though this is a C source code, it is still compiled as C++ code. And now output there. Because we give the extension doesn't mean that is a C++ code. So we just change it to hello.c++. And instead of the standard io.h, I'm going to just say io stream there. And then instead of printf statement, it still works, but I'm going to do cout there. And then in order to do a cout, I have to do std, the scope resolution, saying that go to standard out, the function cout that is there, but you have to use it with the scope resolution. Similarly, for the new line character, I could do that way, or I could say double list inside and line, and then semicolon. But inline is going to be erroring out unless I say scope resolution to standard IO stream. So IO stream has it, and this there is gonna do it. So clear screen cat hello.c++ file hello.c++. It still is going to say C source code because the Python, the standard C++, this syntax IO stream did not change it anything. So I'm going to say G++ -o h hello.c++. So I create the executable called h, file h and hello are both executable. So the difference between h and hello, there are some differences. Binary files in h and hello are different because one was written with the syntax of C and the other one C++. So if I run the h, it's going to give the same output as hello. But now vim hello.c++, I'm going to just change here, say using namespace as std. So the scope resolution here, I'm just going to use this line. So set new, you can see line number 3 is using namespace std. So I don't need this std anymore. So I'm going to remove the std colon. So I say from line 1 through the end of the line, even though it's only one line, I could just say search everywhere and then say std : replace it to nothing, and then just replace it. Now get rid of those lines. So that's the vim set kind of syntax. Now if you see file star, notice here file star.c++, This time it says C++ source code. Why? Because of that syntax of that line number that I just put there with the using namespace, line 3. So that is telling it is a source code. So if I just compile it again, G++ minus O, let's call it HE, or whatever you want to say, H1 and hello.c++. This file, H1 and H, or both of them are executable in format. H would give you the same output, H1 would give you the same output. You have to say /H1. So def between H and H1, you can see that there's no difference because they're both same code with C++. One has this standard as using namespace scope resolution, the other one doesn't. And obviously, you could put a for statement, a while statement, excuse me, a lot of other things. So we are on the go here. And then I'm going to also show you PS minus EFA, grep minus I, tiger, VNC. Remember, tiger VNC is running here. So if I just go here and say, okay, tiger VNC is that using this display too, which port 5900? Yes, I could see that one. And say, let's go F minus I and then 5902. That is, if it is running or not, 5902 is not there. PS minus EFA, grep minus I, display. The display is there, and then let's do a net stack minus AN and grep minus I, 59. Grep, no minus 9, minus I because it's a number. So 5902 is there, 5902 is there, 5902 is, these are all there. The one that is here is established. You can see it is just connected here. So now if I just say, clear a screen, say, give me IP address, show Ethernet 0, and then grep minus I, INET, and then hat minus 1, and then just awk print $2. This on Kali is going to give you the IP address there. So if I wanted not /2, the silent notation, as I showed you earlier, you could say cat minus D delimiter / minus F1, that would give you the IP address. So this IP address is available now for me to connect to this Tiger VNC. And then I could press F8, and this string goes here with, let me see, F8. Yeah, and then take the full screen out. So this one is like a window session. Then I can just say, okay, while this one is this screen, let's see if Tiger VNC 509 is available for me to connect as well using Tiger VNC viewer, right? Tiger VNC viewer, you can see Tiger VNC listening, but also viewer. I need the viewer, the client, to connect to port 5901 on that IP address that I just showed you. So I'm going to say click connect, and then here I have to type in the root password for my session, and that dropped me to the connection that I have there. So if I want to just exit out of this window and then just say change the resolution here or anything, I could do it. So desktop setting, remember the options that I showed you earlier on the graphic, you could have all these other ones as well as nicer ones that you could look at them. Each one of them you click on, you get a different one, and depending on your choice, you can set up the one that you want to do and then close this one. Now you have a nice screen here that's there. If you just say, well, I'm done with this, but before I do that one, say I'm done, and look at this one. Under the application, obviously you can start a Firefox, you start a terminal, you start file manager and all of that. But under the application, all of these security tools are available for you because we installed the large one. With the large one, you can see that it's information gathering. You have DNS analysis, IDS, IPS identification, live host identification, network and port scanning. There's a lot of tool here. Samba and SMTP and SMTP D analysis, SSL, secure socket layer. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Samba is for message passing of between Windows and Linux. And you have also secure SSH and other ones for vulnerability of analysis. You have those tools that you can see here, Cisco tools, fuzzing tools, stress testing, VoIP tools. There's a lot of stuff, but make sure that you're a ethical hacker, meaning a good developer, a good software engineer, that you're helping on the community. These are all MDB, Microsoft Database, SQL, or whatever SQL is there, NodeDB and the other ones. There's a lot of them are available. Curl stuff, and then there's wireless attack, and then reverse engineering tools that you can do reverse engineering. So there's a lot of them, and I want you to experiment, learn it, make sure that you're not on the network to just test these ones on a website and other than your local machine. If you want to just test it on any site that is you're not allowed, you could be prosecuted, you could even go in jail. So please, please, please don't just hack people, don't work on these things in a way that you could compromise your data or have some, just because somebody has a vulnerability, that doesn't mean that they're vulnerable that for somebody to hack them. It's like somebody on the street, you can see an innocent kids are walking with some money. You don't just want to steal it just because it's wrong. It's the wrong thing to do. Whatever is wrong, don't do it. If nobody watches you, God watches you. So you have to have good deeds in order to just help the community for this life and the next life. Help yourself. So take care. I'm just showing you all of these ones, and before I end this video, I'm going to exit out of this one. You can see that it is really nice. We just got into this one. You could exit out of here, exit out here, and then exit out. All of these ones, every session that I open, I can open up from store, Microsoft Store. Just say this, and then just go and look for the app that we say Kali Linux. So Kali Linux app is already installed for mine. You can see here, you can open it. That would take you to the Kali Linux environment, and there you go. So hostname, control plus, and then clear screen, and then everything is there, and then the rest of the information. So system CTL status, if you are not seeing these commands, you could say service status dash status dash all, and then that would give you the all the processes. I'm gonna exit out of this one. I'm gonna show you also command line, just to say that we have completed everything. Right here, if you go on the command line, type in WSL, or just type in CMD and just say WSL-L, it is there. And then the default one is Kali Linux. If I want to go to Ubuntu, for example, I could say WSL-switch Ubuntu. And Ubuntu 24.04. So now I switched it, and then I could say WSL, and then automatically I'm going to go to Ubuntu there. And then cd dot clear screen cap -n etc os/release. And you can see I'm on Ubuntu 24.04. Similarly, if I say WSL-list here, I say WSL-running -L, it's list all the one that are running. So dash WSL-list dash L and then dash running. I must have typed it a little bit off. So you could see Kali Linux is up and running. So if I say WSL-D, Kali Linux, you can see I'm going there as a default one. Cat minus N, if you see y/release, it's Kali Linux. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so now we have checked a lot of stuff. I'm going to finish the video here, but before I finish it, we start off, I will summarize it. I'll start off with Kali Linux, just on the original one that was there. There was some issue with the versioning, version 2 and other ones. After that, I did WSL update. Everything started working with the installation. So we went through the installation and I did the full install with this one, apt install -y Kali Linux large, and that made everything possible. All this graphical interface, everything is working. And then now I have a working condition here that we had a lot of Python stuff and then a lot of 709 Python modules. I'm going to just do further details of this documentation and how to use it and these kind of, I showed you C, C++, Jupyter-Lab, nodejs, and I will just do more videos. Just please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because you will be learning a lot from just going to a university. Just in some few hours of this training, I just show you weeks of videos on online, and I'm sure that there's a lot of other great videos available out there. You're welcome to watch them as well, but don't forget about my channel because I'm providing you a lot of these things. Like as a developer, if you're a developer, you will benefit it. If you're a DBA, you will benefit for it. If you're a sysadmin, you will benefit from it. If you're a data scientist, you will benefit from it. Whether you learn Python or R or C or C++, I will have videos for you. Similarly with the operating system, similarly with everything else. So don't forget about subscribing, and there's thousands of documentation on these, as well as on the YouTube channels. If you go there on the English version, you have 1,000, almost 600 or 500 videos that are here, computer science related topics. You're welcome to watch it. And if you go to Farsi version, 135 videos there as well. You can just learn all of them on this one as well. So please subscribe and then start learning. Take care. God bless you all. Bye bye now.